What if manifestation wasn't just a concept, but something that worked so naturally that you could call in anything just by deciding that it was yours? In this episode, I'm joined by Tedra Chanel, a manifestation coach and podcast host who shares her powerful yet simple approach to creating the life you truly desire. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I use manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, Tedra.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I would love for you to share with the listeners who you are and what your story is.
So my name is Tedra Chanel. I am what some would call a manifestation coach. I really do not like that title, but my manifestation journey started back in 2013 when I was broke, living in a very tiny apartment, roach infested apartment with my children. And I remember I was in my bed and I could see into my living room. And I remember seeing my kids just playing and being super happy. And that was the moment that I made a decision. I said, This is the worst it's ever going to get." And then I got this book called Align and Grow Rich that I was introduced to. I started reading that. And then I started sharing my journey, just the steps, because I really didn't have anybody to talk to about manifestation. I was really raised in a church, and so everybody thought it was demonic, all the things. So I ended up making YouTube videos, just sharing what I was learning in the book, sharing the shifts that I was making, and I became this accidental mentor. And here we are, 12 years later. I have a podcast, journals, and I've been teaching for the last decade plus.
That's fun. And it's so interesting because every once in a while that crosses over where somebody was a really church-based religion, whichever one it was, and how manifestation is seen as such an opposite.
It
Yet
is.
to me, there's prayer and putting out there what you want, and
Hmm.
there's manifestation and putting out there what you want. I feel like we're all swimming in the same pond. We're just all calling it something different.
Right, right. I think that really stems from people not knowing at the core what it means to manifest. By definition, it just means to make appear. And when you look in the Bible, you start at Genesis. What did God do?
Hmm.
He said, "Let there be light," and then there was light. It appeared. The woo-woo is there, but it doesn't need to be. I mean, manifestation is something that we do whether we're intentional about it or not.
Yeah. So what is your definition of manifestation?
So I'm very delusional, right? And I have this affirmation that is I always get what I want. And so manifestation for me is the universe spoiling me and giving me exactly what I want. That's it.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
kind of fun. That's a
Yeah.
fun. I always come from a sense of play with manifestation. So that seems
Mhm.
like a really rich expectation of play there.
Yes. I have
Oh,
very high expectations.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you, because you're so seasoned with manifestation, I would love for you to give the listeners a detailed definition or a detailed play out of what your favorite manifestation technique is.
Scripting. I have been a writer since the eighth grade. I love to read. I love to write. And I came across this quote years ago, and it says, "What you write, you invite." And then there's another one that's my favorite, "Writing it down makes it real." So there is so much power in just writing down your thoughts. I can't explain the scientific breakdown because I'm not that girl. But if you Google it, it's scientifically backed that when you write things down, we have to remember that words vibrate on paper. And so I became an author of a journal. It's called the I Am Manifestation Journal that I released in 2016. And I was looking for a journal that just had some pages, but also that I could write on, but also one that was cute that I wanted to pick up. And so my goal was to make it look like a coffee table book, one that could sit out on your coffee table and really spark conversations, but also invite you to write in it every single day. So scripting is my thing. But I've gotten to the point because I've been doing this for so long that all I have to do now is say what I want and it comes.
Yeah, because you're so
Yeah.
seasoned with that.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the listeners what scripting is?
Scripting is literally just writing down your desires. That's it. That's all. I don't like to complicate things. I don't like to use big words, because it's not really going to be relatable or hit or resonate with certain people. So, whatever you want, just write it down. And it can be in bullet point form, or you can write out affirmations, or you can write it in a story, which is my favorite.
Yeah, that's nice that you give the people listening just that flexibility to make it their own. I think
Mhm.
so many people are like, tell me the manifestation technique. You're
Right.
like, there's so many that you have to find what works for you. And the biggest thing is that you have to believe in it. You have to
Yes.
trust it. Like you said, now you are so connected to trusting in the process that you just have to think the thoughts. And
Hmm.
that is your process now. So
Yeah.
can you share, like, what is your funnest manifestation story?
Oh, Lord. I have so many, but I'll go back to last, I think, July. And this is just one of them very delusional ones. So I was talking to my oldest daughter and her friend, and I just had this idea. I said, let's go ahead and put out our number for the month of July. How much are we going to bring in for the month of July, right? And I stretch, it's my norm to earn like $10,000 a month. I've done that consistently, right? So I threw out this number 15,000. I don't know where it's gonna come from, but 15,000, it sounds good, right? And I forgot about it. I didn't write it down. I said it to them and I never thought about it again until the end of September when I was looking for this house or applying for this house that we're in. And I needed to pull my bank statements. And I'm looking at my bank statement for July and I had earned 14,000. I was about $30 shy of $15,000. So that is like one of the many, but
Yeah.
definitely one. I was actually shocked when I looked at my bank statement. I was like, there's no way. And then I remembered that I just put it out in the universe, that
Mhm.
that's what I wanted and that's what I got.
That's fun. I love hearing stories like that. And
Hmm.
you having children, what, like, do you, knowing what you know about manifestation, do you share that with them? And are there any practices that they do?
No, because I really just want my kids to get to the point. Like the techniques are great, right? Because the techniques help to build what I call that manifestation muscle, right? But I really want from not only my children, but everybody that hears my voice to understand that the power is within. You already have the power. You don't need a tool, you don't need a pen, you don't need a piece of paper, you don't need anything because everything that you need is innately already within,
Mhm.
right? So I teach my kids from the standpoint of all you have to do is say what you want. It's just a decision, right? Manifestation is a choice. You can choose to go left or you can choose to go right. You can choose to live check to check or you can choose to live in abundance. It's just a choice. And when you decide, when you look at the last four letters of decide, suicide, homicide, the side part means to kill off. So something has to die, right? So whatever it is that you want, it's just a decision. You are literally a decision away from your dream life. That's it. So I could train them to script in all the things, but I just want you to get to the point where you're so delusional that all you have to do is say X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
And then also remember that the universe, God, source, whoever you believe in, always says yes. So we have to remember that. So we have to be mindful of our words, of what we say, because the universe always matches you and meets you where you are.
Mm. Yeah, that's very powerful. Yes, it's we every day we are always manifesting for the
Yes.
good or the bad.
Hmm.
So basically you can look at what is showing up in your current lifestyle and realize what you're manifesting, right? And
Yes.
adjust if you need to or keep going if it's what you want.
Right.
And I'm curious because, okay, so I have what happens to me when I'm manifesting, especially something big, is I will usually hit some kind of wall or some kind of
Resistance.
fear point or resistance.
Hmm.
Honestly, for me, often it'll play out as in like a migraine that is just debilitating. I'm out for a day or two. Do you have that pop up in manifestation for you?
Heck yeah.
Okay. What is your
All the
explanation
time.
for that?
I believe it's a block, right? There's
Okay.
something inside of me that's saying the opposite, right? And I think it's the 3D. It's your current circumstances. It's the reality that we live in that, your conscious mind, remember that manifestation is not logical, right? And we tend as humans to think from the logical standpoint of our brains.
Mm.
So it comes up as blocks, but the way that I get past that is I live in the end. So whatever the end is, whatever that wish fulfilled is, that's where I have to live. But I definitely have my moments where I'm crying in the corner because I'm like, there's no way in hell this is going to happen. And then I have to snap out of it and remember how powerful I am and just go
Mhm.
back to living in the end. It's already done.
Living in the end, that
Yeah.
is a really powerful piece of advice there, coming
Yeah.
from somebody like you, because I think when people listen to podcasts and listen to things about manifestation, it's all about, yeah, you just set the intention for the thing that you want. And it's so easy for like, that sounds simple. So it sounds simple,
Right.
but it's not
It's
easy,
not
right?
easy. Mm-mm.
Yes. So I think
Mm-mm.
it's important for people to know that blocks can happen, things can pop up. And when they do, for me, I like to think of it as okay, the universe, my word, is just testing me. Is this what I want? Is this the thing that I'm willing to push through to go for my end goal? That's the way I try to look at it now because it happens all the time. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
here's my last push to pop out through on the other side. And
Right.
then once I pop through, it's amazing. I have the
Mm-hmm.
thing or the experience that I was going for. So
Mm-hmm.
thanks for sharing that. Thanks for going there
Of
with that.
course.
Yeah. Say there's somebody listening who's hearing about manifestation for the first time and they're still kind of like on the fence. Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
For those who may not believe in it,
Yeah. Or
yeah.
just like questioning it.
Questioning it, I would say ask for a sign. I think just ask for proof that manifestation is a thing, right? And you can start small with, seeing a particular car or what I used to do. Okay, do I have a couple seconds to tell a
Oh, yeah.
story?
Please share.
Okay. So there was a point in time where I was wanting to move into a new apartment. And I didn't really have the money. I honestly, on paper, I didn't qualify for it. It was a brand new luxury apartment, and I definitely had some doubts there. So, one thing that I started to do early on is I would always ask for signs. If this is meant for me, if this is actually going to happen, show me a sign. And I would always ask for the most random things. And this particular day, I asked to hear a bell because I don't hear bells often. And I said, I was very specific. I said, it can't be my doorbell because duh, right? But I needed to hear a bell. So I randomly clicked on this video on YouTube and it was of a young lady who was it was a vlog of her being in a wedding. Okay. And it was basically the prep leading up to, and then some clips from the actual wedding, right? And so at exactly 1 hour, 11 minutes, I kid you not, 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds, the ring bearer is walking down the aisle ringing a bell. That literally happened within hours of me asking for that sign.
Mm.
So for the beginner, God is always ready and able to give you signs. So just ask for signs.
Yeah.
Ask for that
That's
proof.
exciting. And do
Hmm.
you find when you're looking for signs, you do see the 1111s showing up,
Oh, heck yeah.
yeah, me too.
Nowadays, it's the fours. It's 444 that it haunts me every
Yeah.
single day. Every single
Yeah.
day. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And you
Yeah.
probably get them at 4:44 a.m. and 4.
PM, AM, I will look at scrolling on TikTok and there will be a video with 444 likes or 444 comments. Yeah, it follows me everywhere. Hmm.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay. Is there any fun or any bits of manifestation that you would like to share?
Wow. Yeah. So I always go back to remember that the universe always says yes. And it wouldn't be a desire if it wasn't possible for you to have. Whatever you want, literally whatever you want. If you want to go to the freaking moon, like the universe will conspire to make it happen in one way or another. So just be steadfast on what you want, but also be very clear on what you want. I think a lot of people struggle with manifestation because they don't know what they want. They're not clear on it, or they're wanting something that somebody else has because that person seems to be happy.
Mm.
So make sure that whatever you're wanting, you're truly aligned with it.
Yeah, that's a very valid point there.
Mhm.
Just going and asking yourself that question, what do I want? And maybe
Right.
why? If it's
And
happiness that
why
you
do you want
want,
it? Yeah.
yeah, find
Hmm.
your version of happiness.
Right.
Oh, what would your biggest piece of advice be to share with the audience on just going out, stepping into creating a life you love?
Because why not? Right? If you don't like the life that you have, then why are you living it? Would be my biggest question. If you truly want something else, go out and get it. I think it's just way too easy nowadays to live wherever you want to live however you want to live. Just make, again, it goes back to making that decision. Make that decision. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not hard. We don't need to complicate manifestation. It's not a difficult thing. It's not made or meant to be difficult. It's like the law of gravity. It just is, right? What
Mhm.
goes up must comes down. There's nothing complicated about it. So the same thing with manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption. Don't make it complicated.
Hmm. I love that.
Hmm.
That is the perfect
Hmm.
note to end it on. And
Hmm.
Tedra, you have a fun podcast. I'm going to pop on there and have a chat with you coming up. So can you
Hmm.
please share what your podcast is? And
Yeah, my podcast is called Align and Grow Rich, and it streams everywhere.
all right. And that's the best place for people to find you online?
No, so I'm Tedra Chanel everywhere on Instagram. I mainly live on TikTok. I'm also on Twitch. I have 500 videos over on YouTube as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today, Tedra.
Thank you, Jen.
Do you want to take your manifestation game to the next level? Join me for the month of March over on YouTube, where we are building momentum with the Manifestation March. We're talking bite sized daily inspiration, mindset shifts, money magic, and action steps to create the abundance that you deserve. Go check it out on YouTube at Income Stream Ignition, and let's get making some momentum in the month of March towards manifesting more money. Thank you for listening to the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're looking for ways to manifest more money and more abundance in your life, I invite you to join me in the Manifest More Moolah program. It would be you, me, and a small group of other equally cool humans meeting weekly in a Zoom room, exploring different ways to manifest more money and more abundance into your life. For more details, visit www.manifestationandmoney.com. Thank you for listening to the Manifestation of Money podcast. I truly, truly appreciate all of you for listening. Cheers to creating a life you love and the income streams to support it.